Welcome to Comics from the Future and happy Friday. Thank you for joining us this weekend and starting your weekend in the most awesome way, by previewing and pre-ordering some upcoming comics. So let's get right into it. Let's see what's on the final order cutoff this week and let us know in the comments what you would like to order. And if you don't have a pull list with us, just send us a message. We can help you get set up.
Yes.
All right, I'm first.
You're
Okay.
first.
So this is Morbius Bond of Blood. So in the beginning, this is just a one-shot. This sort of goes over Morbius in his early days when he maybe injured someone he didn't intend to, and just sort of how that trickles down and how I didn't mean to make a blood pun of blood trickling down. But yeah, this is a Morbius one-shot ahead of the film that's coming out. I don't know if this was planned before the movie or not, but anyway, one of his Morbius working in the lab, one of his assistants or doctor he was working with, injured that individual, which is sucky. But see, I keep making blood puns. Okay. Anyway, Morbius one shot coming out soon.
Just keeping him on the radar because of the movie that I swear it feels like the movie should have already came out or has come out. We saw those previews like a year ago. And look, they're already making him look like Jared Leto.
It's interesting though.
It's uncanny.
There was that previous Morbius series that actually never ended. It got stopped like mid thing, and then this comes out. So I'm wondering if this is going to kind of restart or kick off or something.
Capstone it.
Yeah, like kind of a new Morbius era going forward.
So this is just the one cover on this.
All right. Also, from Marvel, King in Black tie-in, pretty major one. This is also a one-shot. A lot of the King in Black stuff is between like 1 and 3 issues. This is just a one-shot. It's King in Black, Black Panther. So as the forces of Null are taking over the entire world, and of course Wakanda, T'Challa has to decide, is he more a king or is he more an Avenger? Because the Avengers want him to do things worldwide, but his kingdom is suffering. So I think that's a pretty cool premise. This is being written by Jeffrey Thorne, who is he writes a lot of animated stuff. He does Avengers Assemble. He does Ultimate Spider-Man. He's done some episodes of that. So I think that's cool. Marvel's sort of branching out for who writes their stuff these days. The art is by Francis Yu, and this cover, the cover is by Francis Yu. The art is by German Peralta, who I'm not as familiar with, to tell you the truth. And it has a variant by Steve Epting.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it has the intergalactic Black Panther Wakanda feel to it.
I like that a lot of the series are like 3 issues long, but Black Panther can take care of Null in 1 issue. Like by the end of it, he's like, that wasn't too bad.
Presumably. I mean, they got all the vibranium.
That's gotta hurt. Oh, next is a interesting one. Just wanted to mention this, not go into detail because this book has already come out, but it's kind of a big one.
Yep.
This is the 3rd printing of Star Wars High Republic #1. Second printing already hasn't even come out and it's sold out.
Yep.
So this is your chance if you want to get High Republic #1. If you want to collect the series and you missed #1, please let us know because this, you can continue the series if you can get this one. So definitely let us know that you want the 3rd printing, or if you're trying to collect all the printings. Definitely want to get this one.
This has the cool Jedi versus Jedi cover, where the one Jedi has the higher ground, which is always good, but he only has one lightsaber. The other has the lower ground, but he's got the dual.
Yeah.
So it's anyone's game.
Next up, we have what is kind of the special book this week, Radiant Black. So this is a new superhero book from Image Comics by Kyle Higgins, who worked way back in like New 52, worked on Nightwing. Best known recently for kind of relaunching Mighty Morphin Power Rangers at Boom, which was a big hit. Now he's going on to create this new superhero at Image, which is very interesting because there's a lot of talks about not the book crossover, but a big Image superhero crossover. There's a lot of new characters coming into the Image universe. So there's a lot of rumors and rumblings that there's going to be kind of a new Image Justice League or kind of
Huh.
like superhero universe. And Radiant Black is one of the first ones to start it off. This is, they say it's like Tron meets Green Lantern. So the main character, Nathan Burnett, um, just turned 30, can relate, and he's kind of down on his luck. He moves back in with his parents until one night he runs into uh, a mini black hole that kind of imbues him with superpowers, a little Green Lantern like with the kind of you get these powers on you, and it gives him kind of the power to change his destiny. So it sounds really interesting. There's a lot of preview pages online, but they're really hyping this one up. So I think this is going to be a pretty big new number one from Image.
Yeah, if Image is creating their own superhero universe, which I think it's been a long time coming,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it makes sense. It's like they look out at what Marvel and DC have done. You know, superheroes are the flavor of the decade.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's what everybody is watching on TV. That's what they're doing
Yeah.
in movies. And as much as Image tried to carve out, you know, we do things that aren't superhero.
Mhm.
It makes sense that they're like, actually, you know, what's everyone still buying? Spawn,
Yeah.
Savage Dragon still around.
Yeah, we know. Also, there's a big talk. You know, we've got Kyle Higgins on this. There's Jeff Johns doing a book called Geiger coming up. You have Scott Snyder on a new book called Nocturna. A lot of really big superhero writers are coming into this.
Yeah.
And we don't know a whole lot about those other books yet, but you know, we've already introduced the idea of crossover with Donny Cates.
Yeah.
So very interesting.
See, I didn't know all that. So now
Yeah.
now I want this. For
I did
sure.
I did a deep dive on
Yeah,
Radiant
now
Black.
I'm definitely going to be pulling that.
Then we have a super cool variant cover. This is the Duncan Fegretto cover. And then we have the blank cover.
Okay, I'm excited to talk about this one. This is new from Image. It's called Stray Dogs. It is solicited as Lady and the Tramp meets Silence of the Lambs. So,
Another one of those? Gosh.
It takes it very seriously. This idea that, I mean, imagine you were a stray dog. You go to a shelter, you get adopted, and then you have to come home to a home full of a ton of other dogs, this whole new environment. It can be very scary to you. There's preview pages of this available, and it looks like, you know, there's a bunch of other dogs in the home. He's a scared little pup, but there's more nefarious things going on. We see, like, sort of a struggle in the background with the owner. It looks like someone's maybe broken into the home. So it's some mischief is afoot here, but some interesting things about this is it's a 5-part miniseries, but it is by the same artist as My Little Pony.
I think that's great.
Yeah.
That is like the perfect, like, you got someone who's really good at this kind of cute cartoony.
So like I said, there are preview pages available on this. If you want to check out the art, check out a little bit of the flavor of what it's going to be like, go to Previews World, look this up. You can see the first few pages. Looks pretty fun, pretty interesting. The dogs and animals do speak. So it's not, I've read some animal stories where the animals don't speak, but they do speak in this. I don't think the humans can hear them. I don't know yet though.
It is interesting. Back when we got to read like a full preview of this issue, I didn't get to read it, but I remember skimming it, and it's not like an all ages book. Like, this is, I feel like, a little bit more
I agree.
mature with kind of like a fun art style, so it gives that weird uncomfortable tone of like,
yes.
I think when they mean Silence of the Lambs, they mean like that level of horror.
Speaking
just
of,
look at the cover. And I'd also like to mention, this is an Image book, so this stray dog might join the superhero universe Image is putting together.
well,
So.
speaking of Silence of the Lambs and it being a horror story,
Look at that.
we do have a horror homage cover. This is homage of Silence of the Lambs.
Those
so
eyes.
I think almost all the issues of this that they've solicited
Have a
might
horror
have a
cover?
horror cover too.
probably. So you can let us know which cover you'd like. If you like the A cover, that's great. If you like the B, that's fine as well. And then we also have a blank. I don't know if it's on here,
I
but
think it is, yeah.
yeah, we have a blank one. If you want as well to draw your own horror, you can draw your own
Puppy.
pup on there.
It's funny. My dog, if the bug landed on their face like that, they just eat it. They'll be looking at it.
All right. Okay, I'm gonna keep talking here, real quick.
Let's talk about Bad Idea.
So this is something special. This
Finally.
is something you won't see on Previews World, and this is something you won't see from most other shops because we are one of only 154 stores to be chosen worldwide to be a part of Bad Idea Comics. So, boom, we got their first round of promotional material in this week with a checklist of the comics coming out from them. The first one is called ENIAC. And I'm going to let Jason talk a little more about that, but it's a 4-part series, and the orders are due Monday. I know this company had a lot of hype around them before COVID, and, I mean, there was so much excitement, and there's been so much distraction since then, and so much more than distraction, but so much to get in our way. But this is it's coming back, and they're doing a lot of stuff to promote for it, so...
They've used their time well, too. Initially, we knew about one series. Now we know about a bunch of their series coming out. We now have like a lot of art for it. It's really cool.
So if you are local or if you sign up for the series, stop by, come get a previews guide. But Jason's going to tell you about this first issue coming out.
Yeah, the Bad Idea people, they have not just been running in place. They have done a lot more stuff. They've been moving to where once they get going, they're now ahead of the curve, ahead of the game, which is really good. So this issue actually does not come out until March the 3rd, but we have to have our orders in this week. The premise is really interesting. So ENIAC, of course, is a real computer. This is a computer. It was the first supercomputer ever developed during World War II. Matt Kinn is writing this, and he's playing off of history. Well, basically, the premise is that when they created ENIAC back in World War II, they made the first AI. So they shot high, and it went a little higher than they meant. And ENIAC is actually the system that launched the second nuke. It had it run the data and decided the first nuke wasn't going to end the war. So without being told, it used the second nuke. Since then, it's just kind of sat quietly. Well, all of a sudden, it comes back on and is still in control of all the nukes and all the weapons that the U.S. has. And this is modern day. Basically, gives 3 days notice that it is going to fire all the weapons for some reason. So it's up to 2 operatives. As stated, they have 3 days to stop this old World War II AI from destroying the world. So it's a 4-issue miniseries. The first issue is oversized. It's prestige format. That just means that it's bound in the prestige way.
It doesn't have staples.
With bigger books. It's 40-page first issue. Do you remember the price of the first issue?
I do not. I know it is a reasonable regular comic price, and actually that kind of lends me to say, I want to say it's $3.99.
What are we charging for the whole series?
So we'll put some info in the comments, but one big thing that you need to know with this is we are asking folks, because Bad Idea is making us, it's part of their experiment, whatever we order of issue number 1, we also have to order of issue number 4. So a lot of people like to try out issue number 1s and then may not stick around for the full series. We are asking if you sign up for this to commit to the whole thing. It'll cost you less than $20. I remember I mathed that out. I don't know the exact number, but it's less than $20 for the full series of ENIAC. So just say you're all in, we'll get it to you. Even if you're not local, we do shipping and all that stuff. So
that said, that means issue 1 is either $4 or it's $5. So since there's only 4 of them. So, but that's our all our details on that. Very exciting, the launch of a new company. I go to a lot of the spec sites, and I have to say, I mean, people are very pumped for this. It's very limited print run, hard to find. We're lucky enough to be one of the few stores that's going to have it. So I think this is going to be really, really big. The hardest part is that we can't order unlimited number 1s. We do have to order as many number 1s as we do number 2, 3, and 4. They lock us in. So you either got to be all in with us, or we don't really want to just sell you a number 1.
Right.
Sorry.
Next up, I did want to mention this new series from Boom, or actually Kaboom, their all ages line. This is a new series called Orcs. It is a 6-issue fantasy series from Christine Larson, who worked on Adventure Time. I'm not sure if it was the show or the comic, but they said this really appeals to fans of like Critical Role or Adventure Zone. It's about this group of orcs that gets exiled from their clan or their village, and they decide, well, since we're exiled, we're going to go on this quest in the footsteps of a ancient orc adventurer to go find this treasure. So they meet all these monsters and everything in the woods. But this is like an all ages book. Like a lot of Boom stuff, it is a oversized issue 1. I believe it's 40 pages, something like that. Kind of like how Wind was
Last
and
Witch.
Yeah.
Last Witch. So yeah, this looked really fun. It's if you look up the art, you can kind of tell from the cover, but there's some preview pages, very much in the style of like an Adventure Time or a show kind of like that. Really cool, and I think there's a variant cover.
Yeah,
Yes.
the Sweeney Boo.
Yeah, so you kind of get what idea of what the orcs look like in this. They're not quite as like scary as Lord of the Rings or Warcraft orcs, but still, it sounds like a really fun series and only 6 issues long, so easily consumable.
Yeah, I was reading a little about this, and it felt like the orcs all had very different personalities, and I like that. All right, so now we're to the part of the show where we go over other number ones and just covers that we think are cool that people want to know about. So why don't you start us off with this one, Megan?
Sure. So this is Black Hammer Visions. So this is if you guys have not read Black Hammer by now, please read it. If you like indie series, if you like indie superheroes, if you like superheroes, if you like good stories, please read Black Hammer. It's amazing. This is a retelling of, or reimagining of Black Hammer done by various people in the industry. So it's kind of spearheaded by Patton Oswalt. So we have Jeff Johns, Mariko Tamaki, Chip Zdarsky, Kelly Thompson, just sort of reimagining the world of Black Hammer. So it's going to be really cool. And yeah.
Yeah, this first issue focuses on Golden Gale, who is kind of like the Shazam type character, where she's actually a middle-aged woman, but now she's stuck in the body of this little girl. And so the first issue is by Patton Oswalt. Each issue in this miniseries is going to be by a different creative team. Issue 2 is Jeff Johns. But looks really fun if you are a fan of Black Hammer, or it seems like this is probably be a pretty good jumping on point too.
Yeah, absolutely.
A lot of origin stuff, perhaps. There's the Evan Dorkin.
Yeah, I read this. It's a really funny. It's kind of a crossover cover too
Between
with
Milk and Cheese.
Milk and Cheese and Black Hammer universe, where they're mad that there's a crossover and they're not included in it.
And then there's another variant.
Very nice. Yeah, this is the Hernandez Stewart variant. So Golden Gale, one of my favorite characters. Who can't love a young kid, or a woman stuck in a young kid's body, smoking and drinking and cussing all the time. So great way to start the series.
Okay, another one we want to remind you about is Future State number 3 of Dark Detective. This is the Lee Bermejo variant. Who's that on the cover? That appears to be one Batman staring at
a next Batman.
Yes, a next Batman indeed. So Bermejo, man, he does so many good covers. I guess he took a break from all the detective comics where we were following Batman through crime scenes to do this one. But I think it's really cool. Just want people to know that that's out there. And the solicitation of this issue, it is supposed to be, I think, the first meeting of Bruce Wayne with the next Batman.
I love that too. I want to see like full body covers by Bermejo, to see him fully do these new suits, to see like what would like a super realistic version of these suits look like.
Yeah.
Next up we have Batman Catwoman. I believe this is number 3. This is the Jim Lee variant. So when issue 1 came out, we sold out of the Jim Lee variant super fast. Wanted to remind you, if you wanted it, to let us know. It's a really cool cover with Catwoman and Phantasm.
Yeah, Phantasm really steals the show. I think any cover you put Phantasm on right now, a lot of comic people are still going, ooh, Phantasm.
I remember.
Yeah.
Him and or her.
All right, so continuing with our cool covers and stuff, this is the B cover for Kara Zor-El Superwoman. This is issue number 2, so this is just a 2-part series for this. I wanted to show you the B cover, just in case you're signed up for the series and you want to check out the variant. Here is this one, so let us know which one you prefer, and don't sleep, because number 2s get ordered way less than number 1, so don't miss it.
And we sold out of the variant cover for number 1 of
Yeah.
this really fast.
Mhm.
All right, this is Superman Wonder Woman number 2. This is the Dodson variant. So I'm kind of collecting everything with Yara Flor in it right now. I like when there's a new character, you know they're going to be big, and it's like you can get it all. Just
Yeah.
like my Punchline collection, I have it all. And how long will that last until they're in too many things to keep up with?
Yeah.
But this is the issue number 2 Dodson variant cover.
Next, of course,
Ooh,
this
yes.
is Future State Teen Titans number 2. Could be.
Gimme.
I was about to say, it maybe not the number 1 hit of Future State, but the kind of surprise hit of Future State. It was Teen Titans number 1. We know that was the first appearance of Red X in the DC comic universe, and I'm guessing this is kind of his first cover appearance.
Front and center. What a great art on that too.
Yeah, I believe this is destined to win.
Yeah.
So really cool. If you didn't read number 1, it was really good. Ton of new characters. So don't miss out on these variant covers, because sometimes a lot of people don't see the variant covers till they walk in and they see it on the shelf. But I think this one's going to go really fast.
Yep, and that's what comics from the future.
That's what our show's called.
Comics from the future is for. It gives you the chance to order as many of these as you want. It's all still open order.
That one would look really cool graded too.
I'm getting several of those.
Oh, it's my turn.
Yep.
Okay. Alien covers. All right. We have Captain America 27. This is the alien cover for it. We have lots of people getting all the alien covers. This one is super cool. I think, yeah, full body alien. You can't beat it. So I think this is the only alien cover, which means they're winding down. Yeah, they're alien covers month. So this should be the last one. So if you want it, let us know.
That is a great use of Captain America's shield.
Everyone else is like has a sword. It doesn't work. And he's like, haha, I thought ahead.
Yep. No mouth or claw shall get me. So this is King in Black Thunderbolts number 2. This is the Chichetto variant.
Thought this one was really cool.
The more you look at it, the cooler
yeah,
it
when you
gets.
realize like, oh, you can see the eye at the very top of it. And if you read number 1, you know that Star is a very important character in this. Next up, we have, these are interesting. These, I don't know if,
like line of variants.
yeah, I don't know how many they're doing or for how long, but these are the Masterworks variants. So this is the Lupicchio Amazing Spider-Man Masterworks cover, and these actually are kind of wrap around. There's no image on the back, but that marbling goes around to the back of it, so it's a really nice kind of premium cover.
I want to clarify because this tricked me. So I looked at it, like you showed it to me, and I was like, oh, cool, they're updating the Marvel Masterworks covers. This is a comic. This is just Amazing Spider-Man. What issue is it? 59?
59. Yeah.
Yeah, 59. This is a variant series they're doing where they're making the comics look like Masterwork covers, because it totally fooled me.
Yeah. So then we have the Daredevil. This is also Lupicchino. Really cool. And I think there's one more. Yeah. Then there's the Fantastic Four Lupicchio Masterworks cover.
Okay, missing cover for the week, but if you know that you're going to need this one, it's Amazing Spider-Man 59, the Avengers Mech Strike Castellani variant. So, nothing to see here, folks, but
Probably a big robot on it.
all these are always under ordered because you can't see the image quite yet. So, that's on FOC this week.
Let's get to some Star Wars. So this is Darth Vader number 10, the Sprouse Empire Strikes Back variant. I have to say, High Republic, just hugely beloved. What a successful, start to a series. But, it's sort of a makes all ships rise situation. We have people sign up for Star Wars regular series, Vader. So we're just trying to get all that information out so you don't miss any covers that you want.
I thought this was interesting because one of our last shows, we showed off the Sprouse Empire Strikes Back cover, which we don't usually do, but we just thought it was in particular a cool one. And we had a ton of people ordering it. Like, a lot of people didn't know that these were a variant cover series they were doing. And they're really nice. Every one of them looks great. So I wanted to remind you, like, these are a really cool series that they've been doing.
Yeah.
All right, so what is this? Eternals number 2.
Yep.
Eternals number 1 just came out, so hopefully you've had a chance to read. If not, crack it open or come get your copy, because number 2 orders are due soon, so add it to your list or put it on FOC this week if you just want to check that out.
And there's a nice surprise at the end of Eternals #1. If you stare at this cover long enough, you might be able to figure it out.
Oh.
It's somewhere on there.
So that guy can fly, huh?
Yeah. Okay, so this is the part of the show where we remind you about #2s and #3s. A lot of times, people will buy #1 but forget to sign up on a series. This is Last Witch #2. It doesn't have the trade dress on it, but I assure you this is the cover to Last Witch #2. We sold a lot of #1. It's a boombox comic. It's all ages about this little girl who's sneaking into a witch's tower to prove that she's tough. Had a lot of good art. In fact, I kind of like in the art style the sort of older Disney. I think it would definitely work well as a movie of some sort. So a lot of people pick this up. If you like #1, this is your chance to sign up on the series to guarantee that you get your copy of #2, because we only get so many over what people have asked for. So Last Witch #2 still available.
You can talk about this one too, because you read
Sure,
this one too.
Space Bastards #2. So this is by the original artist from The Boys, and I think he was hand selected because it is very dark humored, very violent, very dark humored. I was skimming the first one and it pulled me in. It gave me like the old Vertigo vibe, and I ended up reading it. I enjoyed it a lot. Real fast paced. A lot happens in it. It's the premise is basically there's an intergalactic postal service, and it's been turned into almost like I don't know, like a murder ball type situation where whoever has the package, everyone wants to kill them, and if you get the package to the sender, you make tons of money. So it's lucrative but highly dangerous. Issue 2 promises to reveal the origin of how this all began. So I'm really interested in it. So those of you who read #1, you thought it was fun, funny, #2 is still available.
A lot of hunky characters in it, like they're on the cover.
Yeah, that's true, except for the accountant who quits his job and joins. He's sort of the character I think is supposed to be like you or me.
Okay.
So
this is a interesting one that we kind of have a personal connection with. This is Cult of Dracula #1, which we did a big signing for. Cult of Dracula #1 when it was maybe more of an indie series.
Yeah,
How would you
when it
describe
was,
that?
I guess, more self-published in a way, even though he was published through a major company. It takes a big leap of extra effort to actually get into Diamond previews, which is where we are now. So yeah, this is, a lot of you, if you're local, you picked this up on our shelves already. This is a different cover though. Or you actually maybe got your book signed, but this is officially solicited through Diamond. It doesn't make it any more special or anything. In fact, I'd say the ones we had before were more special. This just means congratulations for Richard that he got this through to Diamond Previews, and lots of other shops can order it. Lots of people can see it now, so that's the cool thing with this.
Yeah, and a big thank you to Richard Davis who came out and did a signing. So Cult of Dracula, it wasn't with Source Point, so he switched to Source Point, and since they were doing the #2, I think they decided, hey, let's go ahead and do a reprint of #1. So that's the importance of this one. If you want all the Source Point one, and that's where it's going to stay. Big hit. The #1 sold out, went through multiple printings. It is already optioned for a movie. So if you want all the printings, I highly suggest you get this. I think this is my favorite cover.
And we just got #2 on the shelf. So if you got #1 here at our store and you're waiting for #2, it just arrived this week. So come stop by and get it.
It is interesting soliciting a #1 after
and
#2
we have the #2
arrives, but that's just what happened when they switched over to the Source Point.
So this is cool because we kind of talked about some of these last week. DC Future State was kind of a bigger hit than anyone thought, and it is going to second printings. But what's awesome is their second printings are done in the style of what a lot of their like 1 in 25 variants were. These kind of concept art sketches, but they're just open order second printings for these. So we have Kara Zor-El, Superwoman #1. Design second print variant. Then we have a big one. This one really cool. This is the Future State Teen Titans #1 second printing with Nightwing and Red X on there.
Red X in the background, so I've got to pick it up now.
Let's see. Then we have Future State, The Flash #1 second printing with Wally with all of his little knickknacks he picked up.
He's going through something in Future State. If you've read the #1. So one thing I also mentioned about these second prints, the first prints were available to return. So some retailers were able to order a whole lot. These are not returnable. So retailers are going to be a lot more careful about how many they order, including us. So some of these might be the ones, if you're specking on what's actually going to be worth something down the road, it might be these because they are not returnable.
And they're just great covers.
They really are. Like the Yara Floor one, I really like that one. That was from last week.
Okay, me time?
You time.
Sure. Okay. This is King of Black #1. The second printing. This feels like it took a minute to come out. Shockingly, we still have some #1s here, but this is the second printing. So if you collect second printings, if you like this cover more, if you missed out, here you go. Your chance to get it. King of Black #1 second print.
Yeah, with art by Ryan Stegman, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is Phantom Starkiller #1. This is the third printing. This one kind of snuck up on everybody. The first print came out, was an instant hit, sold out. Retailers, including us, did not have enough of it. We didn't know how big this series was going to be. It's by a smaller company. It has that art style that sometimes just people jump for, and other times people just push away. I think the content helps it a lot. Apparently, the series has to do with this thing called the Crypto Chrysalis gem. Yeah. And this creature, this ghoul, the Phantom Starkiller, comes back to life to try to end the curse of it. Meanwhile, everybody else is after it because it's this source of power. You can lead undead armies. So something about, space mixed with the undead in this style. I mean, it's just really got a lot of people stoked.
It is very much leans into the kind of Masters of the Universe or the Transformers, where it was like, we have a toy and then we're trying to make a comic to back that up and tell the story of it. So all the characters in there are figures of these. Super 7 makes really great figures. But they very much have that, everyone's a super unique looking weird character. But I got to read the first issue that this is reprinting, and it's so much fun. It is just space and crazy and monsters, and so if you want something really fun, don't miss out on this because it feels like everyone missed out on the first printing.
They did.
They had me at the word Crypto Chrysalis. I was like, that's
it's just such a MacGuffin word, but it's so fun.
Yeah.
Oh, this is so lovely. I'll do this.
Yeah,
okay.
You read this.
This is Haha #1, the second print. I love this cover. The issue #1 was great. This is a 6-part series, in case you missed out on it. I'm sure you've heard about it by now. By the same creator of Ice Cream Man. So, once again, this is the #1, second printing. Issue #1 is so this whole series is telling different stories about clowns. The first one had a very, Joker, Joaquin Phoenix sort of feel to it. Very sad, very dark and demented. The next issue #2, is going to cover a mother-daughter clown team. Each one, if you read Ice Cream Man, is going to have its own flavor of craziness, of dementedness, of horror. So I really enjoyed issue #1. I'm sure many of you missed out on it. It was sold out very quickly. So grab the second print. Add yourself to the series if you like weird anthology horror stuff.
The only criticism I heard of issue 1 was people going, I just don't like clowns, or clowns just scare me, which is why I think
that's why this book kind of exists.
That's why Maxwell Prince, I think that's why he
also,
did it.
I guess spoiler, the creator sent all retailers an email, and he did say that issue 6 was going to tie into the Ice Cream Man universe, so you've been warned.
All right, I think the last thing we have to show off today is a hardcover omnibus of SpiderGwen.
Cute.
It's got a very cool Bradshaw cover that I think people have seen before, but that's a great one that they chose. It is going to be $125, so this thing is massive. You could probably...
Yeah, I know. I was looking at this, and I put this on here because, one, I love SpiderGwen. It's cool that a character that's so new has their own omnibus now. But this has everything she's appeared in. So it's got the Edge of the Spider-Verse #2. There's her first appearance. It has the first whatever it was 10 issue series. Then it's got the next 1 through 38 of her next series, plus all these Spider-Verse tie-ins, everything. So if you love this character, because a lot of her stuff is very hard to find,
Mm-hmm.
not really printed a lot of places because it was in like weird one shots and everything, this is a super cool place where you can read the whole SpiderGwen epic.
All right. Well, I think that is this week's show.
Woo!
Yes. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for kicking off your weekend with us. Please send us your orders. You can send us a message. Jason will put up some order information after the show. So hope you guys have a great weekend, and we will see you next week, same time, same place. And until then.
I would also like to thank everyone who watches this live on Facebook. Thank you for that. And for those of you, we posted immediately after on YouTube. Our YouTube family is growing. We're almost at 410 subscribers, heading towards 500. Next stop, 1,000. So
Next
thank you very
stop,
much.
10,000.
We put a lot of time and effort into this. Like, these screens aren't just there. We have to collect them all. We have to select them all.
Mm-hmm.
We do research. I think y'all can tell we really put a lot into this. So thank each and every one of you, whether you order from us or not. If you just join us to get the information and you like our enthusiasm, that's good enough. We appreciate it.
And we'll put some order details up here so you know how to get the stuff with all of our information.
Correct. And of course, every Tuesday we do a show where we read the comics early. They're releasing Wednesday, and we do a spoiler-free show. So please tune back in on Tuesday for that show as well. So until then, this is us signing off.